everybody, and welcome to the part two of the two-part finale of Denver by Night. We are going to kick off tonight by introducing our kindred. I will start in the order that I see you on my screen, and we'll start with you, Christina.
Hello, my name is Christina Ariel. You may know me from such moving things as Twitter. So I play Delilah. I am your Toreador this evening, and I hope you're having a marvelous day.
And next we have Shane.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shane Easton. I'm playing Jax Tuesday, a Malkavian.
Bonnie. You are muted, ma'am.
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. My name is Bonnie Gordon. I will be playing Agnes, your gang girl for the night.
And Michelle.
Hi, I am Michelle Bradley. I am playing Evis, your Tremere for the evening. And just wanted to say it's been real cool knowing you all for these last 7 episodes. Hopefully we all make it out alive. I'm a little bit worried about it now.
And last but not least, our newest addition, Nora.
Hi, I'm Nora Ibrahim. I will be playing Dr. Nadia Malik, the Ventru of this game.
And we will pick up right where we left off. As you all are standing there in this forest that you've just had all of these absolutely terrible premonitions about, you again feel that sharp pain in your head, and that bright flash of light comes over. In the middle of doing whatever you were doing, you can't continue. You feel it, and it's overwhelming. And you are ripped back into right where you were before you traveled to what would seem to be Georgia, Stonehenge. And Dr. Nadia, you see the familiar face of Dr. Joseph Jebediah looking very close and intent in your eyes as all of you wake back up. And you all see him leaning into her, and he says, "Yes, I suppose you found some fruitful information."
I believe that should be discussed in a more private matter.
I don't see why. It would seem as though they were present as well. I would like to hear all of your takes on the situation, what you may think that some of these things mean, because you see, and he does turn around and pull out a cigarette from the front pouch of his shirt. He goes, "I can't seem to quite wrap my head around them." And he lights it up and kind of takes a very condescending seat in front of you.
It would appear that perhaps our experiment needs a bit more fine-tuning, as everything seemed a bit jumbled. Do you have any information on the engineering of this apparatus that I may check up on, review, inquire?
Yes. Dr. Malik, well, you have been pushing for more and more knowledge into the workings of some of these things. Keep gunning for that promotion, though. See what you can get out of this group here. Things you can find out, and perhaps, should you come back with a bounty of information, we can work on letting you into the inner circle of the plans.
Well, Doctor, I shall take it upon myself, and I would be delighted to take these women under my observance as my own personal project.
There's hope for you yet. And he does take out another cigarette from his pack and kind of taps it into your front pocket and goes, well, I suppose I'll leave you to it then. And he presses a button that does unlock your seat restraints, Doctor. And he goes, take them to the interrogation room. It's a bit full up right now, but perhaps they should see what they're in for first. Walk them through the East Wing. It should be fun.
And if it is full, then what shall I do with them?
Why, keep them in the observation room, of course.
As you wish, Doctor.
Evening, creatures. And he leaves, and you hear the door slide shut with a chink.
Asshole.
God damn it.
What's he calling a creature? I'm a lady, damn it.
I
Oh,
have a
is
feeling.
this new room going to be a good thing or a bad thing? 'Cause it sounds really bad to me.
I can't imagine that any of it would be good, but I'm just trying to buy some time with you, and however I can to deflect the situation, I will try and do so. As for right now, I don't wish to divulge any of the information that we just saw. So if I could have them believe that their apparatus here is faulty, then perhaps that'll buy us some time.
If
In
you
the
need,
meantime, if you do have to go into that interrogation room, whatever it takes, just don't tell them anything.
Should we perhaps all agree on a story? If they do ask us where we were, is there maybe something that we can agree on to say?
I say they're gonna want some location, some symbolism, some kind of shit like that. I say we were in a desert. There was a horse, a cactus, a tumbleweed, shit like that. I don't know. I could BS shit like that all day if I needed to, but just pretty much the opposite of what we saw.
Did the horse have no name?
Delilah.
Well, so a desert, tumbleweed, a horse, and cacti.
And the cactus was on fire. That's symbolic of some shit, right?
Yeah, the cactus was on fire.
Like blue fire. That looks nice. I'm good at this. Shit, I should write prophecies or something, huh? Isn't that what it is? Like blue fire, cactus, burning, but it's like this is good.
Well, let's just stick to those details.
All
yes,
right.
as close we can get to the story, and then if should there be a minor detail here or there that differs, then we could always I could emphasize that there was a glitch or something, and that hopefully will buy us some time before whatever it is that they plan on doing next.
And Doc, let me remind you, if you have to inflict pain on any of us, I volunteer myself first, and don't you dare touch a hair on Delilah.
Oh, well, I don't
take
wish
such good care.
I don't wish to injure anyone, but I do respect and commend your bravery in all of this.
Nothing brave about it. I just know how to grit my teeth and bear it.
I will do as you ask, to the best of my ability.
Thank you kindly.
You know what I'd like to say? Oh, my apologies.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I just want to say that I know we're all in this precarious situation and everything seems extremely tense, for lack of a better word. But think about all the time we're getting to bond. All the time we're getting to bond because we could be dead anytime, but we're not right now. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's been weird, but great hanging out with you all. I think. I mean, I've never had any friends, and I don't know. It's been kind of cool, except for all the scary murder stuff. But
I would say, given the circumstances, that I haven't seen anyone else here have the opportunity to speak with one another and form friendships. So, for what it's worth, I do hope it gives you some sort of comfort in this situation.
Well, I'm usually like a lone wolf, but I don't mind these pups in my pack.
Before I met all of you, Charlie was my only friend. And I will be getting Charlie back. And I'm going to need your help. But I must say that it has been nice spending time with all of you.
Jax, give me a wits and awareness roll.
Uh, 2.
You see something out of the corner of your eye for a split second, but you're able to brush it off, but you swear it looked like you.
So are we going to go to this other room, or?
Yes, I suppose I should take you down there now before they start getting suspicious. But before I do that, Ibis, I know that you had mentioned needing a white cloth for something, and I don't know that you need it now, but should you need it in the future, and I open my lab coat, and from the lining I rip out part of it, and I hand it to her. I don't know if it'll help, but I certainly hope that should you need it, that it does.
oh well, thank you very much. I mean, I thought I was gonna do some tracking, but it seems like we kind of have a limited scope of where we can actually go. But I'll keep a hold on it in case we can't find our compatriots. I mean, besides finding this ghost that we all know about now, Charlie, I would, kind of like to find my sire. And then there's all those kids who helped us out earlier. They're somewhere in here too. So I don't know. I kind of feel like we should look for those guys too.
Right. Well, is everyone ready?
We don't really get much choice in the matter, so let's giddy up.
Right then. And I shall lead them to the interrogation room.
Since I saw the thing that looks like me, I activate heightened senses.
Which senses?
Sight.
Excellent. Yes, as you walk them down this hallway, you open up the thick door. You walk them together, and there are quite a few armed guards lining the hallways, making sure that no one makes a run for it. When you're walking, it's lined. It almost looks like a jail. And there is definitely a manner of all kinds of individuals here, young, old, just everyone that you can think of. Some look like skater punks, others look like fine, upstanding citizens. There's no pattern really to any of these people. They just all are wearing the same jumpsuits as you. Some of them have different letters on their jumpsuits as you walk. Yours has a V. Theirs has an M or an L. Different, bit of a difference that you guys had not seen before. Everyone give me your wits and awareness. And Jax, you can include your heightened senses in this, your aspects in this. Yes, Ebis, this is terrifying for you. You are, this is not what you left the library for.
Hell no.
I got a 3.
3, okay. How many for Jax?
I got 3.
I got a 1. I totally thought I had this.
You are just trying to make sure that there is nobody really watching you guys. You're trying to keep the eyes out, Doctor. And how many for Delilah?
That would be 1.
You are also absolutely terrified and very, very upset at the lack of, tapestries, and just this whole decor is off. This whole post-apocalyptic industrial thing is not your thing. But you guys with the 3 successes, you do notice that in some of these cells is a few of your friends that you have seen. You don't see Heather and you don't see Kurt, but you do see a couple of the circus folk that had been there. Especially, Jax, you notice Mullet, the one who had walked up to you outside of Rufus's place and had warned you guys that the rest of them were on their way, and you had sent him in the opposite direction. And he is in there, and he looks very a lot more depressed than the last time you had seen him, with his chipper attitude. He looks as though the will has been drained away from him and is just kind of sitting on the edge of the bed, very distraught and a bit roughed up.
I make eye contact with him, and
And he does look up at you with very wide eyes, and he goes, and then just looks back down at the floor. Bonnie, you notice that most of the people around here kind of have that similar zombie thing going on, where they just do not look like themselves. All in all, the overwhelming air of this place as you're walking through is that of absolute desperation and terror. Doctor, you lead them through this hallway and finally make it to a grated door, one that slides, almost as if it opens to another section of the hallway. You have your key that you use to unlock it, and you slide the grate open. And it looks a bit more light in here, but almost too light. These hallways are bright lights in the ceiling that, Doctor, is to counteract a few of the other kindred's powers, especially. And it's still not comfortable for really any of your eyes, though. You walk into what seems like a giant empty boardroom. And there is a long table there that seems to be bolted to the ground, and chairs that are also bolted to the ground around it. You know this to be the waiting area for the interrogation room, Doctor. And there is a large 2-way mirror on the wall. The interrogation room does seem to be empty at the moment.
I say, have a seat. And know that we're always watching you. As I kind of very subtly nod to the 2-way mirror.
Okay, then I just sit down.
I take a seat and go, well, there's not much to watch, but have at it.
Yes.
I mean, I'll sit because standing kind of sucks, so... Ooh, fun.
I would get comfortable, as it may not be so comfortable soon.
You see, out of the corner of your eyes, Sister Mary Louise appears again, the nun. And you haven't seen her since inside the vision. And she walks over to you, Doctor, and goes, "Would you like me to take them in?"
Yes.
Very well. And she puts her hand on your shoulder and goes, "Ladies, follow me. If you answer honestly, no harm will come to you." And she leads you into the next room. There are 4 stools sitting there. It almost looks like one of those terrible gangster movies where each one of them has a little spotlight over them, which is meant to break down the will of the individual. Just that bright light in your eye and not being able to see past it in that dark room. And as she walks you all in, she closes the door behind her. And you can see that there's a wince behind her eyes. And she turns back to you and goes, "Again, answer honestly. No harm will come to you." She walks up and down in front of the line of you guys for a moment or two. Definitely trying to sandbag. You can tell she really doesn't want to do this. But she stops and finally goes, "The first time that you escaped the facility, how did you get out?"
What do you mean, how did we get out? Don't you have video or some shit? You made me angry. I got out of my cage. Pressed a couple buttons. Not quite sure how I did that. I don't know what the fuck I was pressing, but something happened. Jax here has really long arms. And add that all together, we figured it out. We're not stupid.
Nevertheless, they would like you to recall the route.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I hardly remember any details of that night. I mean, ever since, for as long as I can remember, I've always been running from something. So that night was no different than any other night.
Also, like every hallway in this building kind of looks the same. So I don't even know how we got here. I don't know where the other room was just now. I kind of forgot. I mean, like you guys have to start putting markings or like paintings on the walls because there's no way you can really remember like left, right. There's no like signs. So
I really wonder why you think we would remember how we escaped when our main focus was on escaping. We weren't exactly sitting down and drawing schematics, were we?
And you do see that she smiles for a second, almost like she's proud of you. But her face quickly turns south and she goes, and she presses a button. And you see Heather and Kurt and Theodora, almost the same way that you had seen Charlie, Jax. But this time it's on a screen that comes down. They're clearly being held in a different place, but they are in chambers. And they look trapped and very confused. And she reaches over and goes, "Not the answer we were looking for, sadly," and hits a button, and the 3 of them are electrocuted, and you can see, and they look very, very badly steaming when she lets go after just a second, because electricity and light are not friends to you guys, as you know. Fire and things like that are probably one of the worst things you could come into contact with.
That is unnecessary.
And you see in her eyes, Delilah, that she does wince as you say that, but tries to pull it back together.
What is that supposed to achieve? These people that, you know, that you're hurting. Look, I've known them less than 48 hours. You trying to affect me in some way? Is that what you're doing? I don't even know these ladies very well. You know, we just got stuck together in the same circumstance. So I don't know what you're trying to achieve, but hurting them is not really going to do very much.
Then you will name the other co-conspirators.
Listen, you psychotic penguin. I was telling the truth. I don't remember how we escaped. We were just trying to escape. If you lock something in a cage, it's going to try to escape. You're electrocuting them, but I was telling the truth.
Look, I might have heard someone say the name George or something. Beatrice. Is there a Beatrice around? I might have recalled that name again. That could have been a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Oh, I have an idea. The logical thing to do is to take us to the first room we were the first time, and then we could maybe, try to show you how we got out. I mean, it seems like if we can't remember now, we would remember if we were there. It seems a little easier than just pulling it out of thin air.
Instead of questioning us, you might be wanting to question your guards who were so busy dilly-dallying they weren't able to catch us. I know I've done that, and there was not much fight in them.
You hear a very sharp ring come into the room. It sounds like a speaker system being adjusted. And it's just absolutely awful, like when you shine a mic at a speaker. And you hear, "Yes, sister. Do take them to the original room. I quite like that idea. What they say about the Tremere must be true. Learned and brilliant indeed. This is a good plan." And a bit of interference, and it ends. And you see her kind of shake her head a bit and go, "All right, I'll take you to the original room. Not what I had expected." And you can kind of see a little bead of sweat above the top of her lips start to collect. She clearly looks a bit more nervous about this idea, but does look at all of you and go, "All right, we'll do that. You can show us the route you took to get out." And she looks at you, Agnes, and goes, "And Beatrice, I'll write that down." And you can see her eyes kind of darting around the room. But as she walks by, Agnes, you notice she has not written that name down on that paper. She goes over and opens up the door. And you didn't really notice it at first, but when the air starts to clear a little bit, you feel lighter. Like you didn't know that you had felt slightly crappier than you do, but the air feels lighter out here now that you're out of the room. And she walks you back into the room with the doctor and looks at you, doctor, and says, "There's been a change of plans." You are muted, doctor. Technology. Nope. One more time. There we go.
Geez, sorry about that. How so? What plans have been changed?
She goes, the memory recollection portion of this has now been rerouted into a retrace your steps experiment.
Well, sister, as I am taking watch over them, I do believe that I should be coming along on this expedition.
I agree, she says to you. And she goes, follow me, everyone, and I will walk you back to where your journey began with us.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Delilah.
From what I've seen so far, you've got the man in the hair, you've got the doctor, you've got this terrible building with the ugly walls and terrible paint job and just awful overall appearance, terribly dressed staff and all of that. But how does it feel to be such a follower that you would torture people and you don't even have the backbone to stop it?
We do what is necessary for the greater good.
Whose?
There is only one greater good.
And what is it? What is this greater good that you just are so hell-bound on figuring out?
There is many legend, especially about, well, you, us. Bloodsuckers, leeches, vampires. While there are other supernatural creatures here, we are technically counted as the worst. Half of the other creatures don't really even like us for those reasons. So perhaps eradicating us is a bit like removing a cancer from the planet.
How long did it take for them to make you hate yourself?
Well, I suppose hating myself is initially what brought me to try to find salvation.
Well, everything has its cost.
Yes. Do follow me, and we shall continue. And she does nod and open the door, and she puts you in front, Doctor, and does stand behind to make sure that all of you clear out the room. Jax, as you are walking out the door, she kind of tugs your sleeve with her fingers. It kind of catches your sleeve for a moment. And when you kind of turn around to give her what the fuck face, she kind of you and points her eyes to the direction behind you. When you turn and look, you don't see anything. But when you turn around to look straight again, you see, hello!
Charlie.
She let me out. She let me out, Jax. And he points over to Sister Mary Louise, who's standing there pretending like she does not see him at all.
I look at Sister Mary Louise and I just go.
And she looks down at her shoes for a moment and back up at you and then down at her shoes and continues to let you both walk out the door and then shuts the door behind her.
It's very important to stay hidden in this place.
And you do hear Charlie go, "Oh, all right, love. I'll just talk to you, but I won't show myself at all. But just so you know, I'm here if you need. And if you need me to go anywhere else for you, you just say the word, and I'll run off to it. Just remember, I'm back. All right."
Mm-hmm. And I'll be there for you if you stay hidden too.
And he goes, "Shh." And you hear it kind of trail off into the distance. You are eventually walked down even more of those red, dingy lit tunnels, more of those cell blocks that you had initially been walked through. And it seems like hospital wings that you can kind of see. It's those same like double doors, like those push through doors, but these are locked with the keypad locks as you walk through the little swipe card locks. This is a very, very big facility. As you guys are walking, it takes quite some time to get back down to the wing that you guys were initially in, although you do make it. And that dank smell of mildew and desperation hits you in the face as you get to the lower level, and you start to remember. You're like, "Oh, yep, this was definitely the place." And you are walked through the hallways and into what would appear to be the exact room that you were in at the beginning, completely untouched as well. The glass tubes that you guys were kept in are smashed. The liquid has dried, but you can see kind of like a distortion ring of whatever impurities was in this liquid has left an imprint on the floor of where it had spilled out in a pour pattern. And there is that one extra tube sitting there that is untouched. That was the fifth one. That was always empty. But it all looks verbatim the way it did when you left.
My, ladies, look at the mess that we left here.
A little weird they didn't clean up or anything. I mean, right?
It is strange.
I don't know how they expect us to show them how we escaped if it looks like this.
It has been left this way to try and figure out how you got out.
Oh, that makes sense. Right.
But there has to be some form of a camera. Like, this all just seems like a waste of time.
Perhaps. Meaning is not in things, but in between it.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did not. Although, thank you for thinking that I could be so prolific.
Well, we obviously smashed out because there's glass and there's stuff everywhere, so it was smashing.
I do recall being very upset and angry, and I might have done a little something like this. And then I'm gonna activate feral weapons, not for like long. Just I'm not like using them or anything. I just enlarge my claws or whatever, show them, and then I was like, "Yeah, that definitely happened," and then bring it back in.
Were you unsupervised at the
Hell,
time?
if I know, we couldn't see shit.
It was really dark.
I'd like to take a look around the room to see where there are or might have been security cameras.
Yes, you can. Roll me your wits and awareness and tell me what specifically you are looking for about them.
Well, considering that everyone is under surveillance at all times. I'm looking to see how they could possibly escape if this place is under usual surveillance at all times. Shouldn't there be surveillance cameras? And why, if there are security cameras, have they been turned off? We could start there.
Yes. Roll me your wits and investigation.
Okay. That might be worse. 5. 3 successes.
Yes, you do notice that there are cameras around the room. The red light on them is blinking in a weird pattern. You know that they usually kind of do this to indicate that they are recording when they're working. They're kind of doing a sputter pattern, and it seems to be repeating. And it's very odd. It kind of looks like it's shorting out. Like you're not really certain if what's going on there, because you're not really like a techie person. You're a doctor. Computers aren't your main thing. But
Right.
There's clearly something wrong with this camera.
I bet you dollars to donuts they didn't pay the bill.
Dollars to donuts. I don't know what that means, but we do seem to be funded heavily, so this is quite an odd occurrence.
That doesn't mean people can't forget to pay a bill. I've seen it happen on the biggest stages in the world.
Hey, do you guys think that maybe we're not being surveillanced right now, or are we? I mean, if the camera's messed up in here again, don't you think we can kind of start to make a plan?
Is there a button to turn it off like there was in the other room when we first met?
You do know that a lot of the times on the switchboards that are in the room, Nora, that there are little secret buttons and panels underneath. But as you walk over to this switchboard type contraption, you realize that this in and of itself looks fried. Like, you're not sure if it's when the tanks leaked out, if maybe it got wet and computer wet, not good, or what it is, but nothing on this panel seems to be working right.
If I recall, when I escaped initially, I went and pressed all the buttons, so I probably fucked something up. My bad.
So me, without verbally saying it in case they can hear us in some way, I'll just kind of point my eyes down to the location of where that control board is, in case anybody.
You see that Sister Mary Louise does walk over to it and kind of look down at it and runs her hand across the bottom of it. And she looks back at all of you and kind of makes her eyes real wide and looks from side to side and kind of turns her head and heads out of the room, which you can kind of pick up on means I'm going to go keep a lookout. And she does walk out of the room and slide the door shut behind her, which is that big, thick metal door that you all remember that probably looks like it weighs 1.5 million pounds. She does seem to move it absolutely effortlessly, though.
Hey, team, I think it's time to make a plan.
It would seem as though they can't see us or hear us right now, so make use of that time.
Well,
They can't see it.
Go ahead,
Jax.
Well, no, you go ahead.
No, I actually value your opinion, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Oh, but after you.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say 3 minutes ago, and that was before I even thought it.
Well, it does seem that they are interested in what we know, even when we don't appear to know that much at all. So, I do remember we left through a underground tunnel last time, but perhaps there is another exit from this room that we don't know about. And if I could just, and I walk over to the panel of buttons and I want to put my hands on it and use Spirit's Touch.
Roll me your, I believe that is Resolve and Aspects.
Resolve and Aspects, yes. Okay. Oh, and a rouse check, yeah.
Yeah, please.
I'm good.
Beautiful.
Oh. Okay, so I got 4, 5, 6.
6. Crit or no crit?
Crit.
You got a crit? Nice. Messy or regular?
Regular.
You, Jax, walk over and put your hands on it, and you feel nothing for a moment. It's just kind of cold and quiet with distant echoes of like the back of your mind. It's like when it feels like something's wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it, but you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then all of a sudden you feel an extreme amount of panic, fury, frenzy. And this is going on for quite some time. You can almost hear gunshots ringing through your head. And it kind of reminds you of when you left, when they were firing, when you were trying to get out of the room and they were coming after you and scrambling for you. And you do, in fact, feel the familiar vibe of your friends for a second there, but also that desperation of trying to escape and trying to get out. You can kind of pinpoint that this was probably when you guys were trying to escape, but you know that pretty much since you guys left, they came in, looked around, got super upset that they couldn't figure it out, and then just haven't touched it since.
Sometimes the magic works and sometimes the magic doesn't.
Or maybe it worked and there's just not another way out of here besides the main door and the way we left. So don't doubt yourself.
Well, Dr. Nadia, I mean, short of escaping, again, it would be good if we can get the rest of our friends out of here too, and my sire, Theodora. Do you have any idea where they're being kept?
Do I know where they're being kept?
You know, Dr. Nadia, that for the most part, when the kindred come in, they're observed for a while, and kind of then grouped off between who they think based on their files and who they are in a couple of different ways. They try to not group people together that seem like they would be a problem if grouped together, meaning like if there's a lot of people who seem like they're going to start a revolution, they tend to split them up between other groups of people who are more likely to not help instead of grouping them all together in wings. And they do pay very close attention to that. So considering the fact that most of their friends were known resistance, they're probably not all together somewhere.
I would say that given as how they would like to have utmost control over people, and they have been grouped together in such a way that would prevent any sort of tendencies towards revolt. However, I do think that they did greatly underestimate you in grouping you together.
I was about to say they done messed up with our group.
Yes, they done messed up indeed. My concern now is that given that they are trying to track your escape, is it wise to actually let them know how you did escape, or would it be helpful to give them false information. I don't know.
Doctor, how valuable are you here?
How valuable am I here, storyteller?
You know that you were way more valued before the accident happened. And you know that they have been kind of looking down on you more than you would care to be looked down on since that happened. But definitely nowhere near as much as they look down on Sister Mary Esther. Or sorry, Sister Mary Louise. They because she is a Nos, they kind of have a little bit more jaded towards her. But you feel like you could work your way back into their good graces. You just have to be really sly about it.
Well, Agnes, I will admit that when I did first, in my first years here before the accident, I was held in higher esteem than I am now. However, they do trust me to a certain extent, but they do have their eyes on me at all times. I am trying to work my way back into an inner circle, which might be attainable, but for the sake of all of our escape, as I have made it clear to you earlier. But right now, I would say I'm down a peg or two, so to speak. But
so you're saying if I smack,
as...
right? So you're saying if I smack you and walk out here with a claw against your throat, asking for trying to get my way through there, they're not going to give a shit. Is basically what you're saying.
Oh, like a hostage situation.
That was my plan. Yeah, I've had one or two of those, but
Well, I think it would work better with me than with Sister Mary Louise, given that they are rather judge her harshly on her appearance. But it's worth a shot.
I was just saying, if we don't want to give away how we escaped the first time, let's find another way out. And I was going to use you as leverage.
Well, there is the problem of we are completely outnumbered, but I will point that out. But I very much like the idea.
Well, if we get cornered somewhere, it's worth a shot. Just know that I'm going to have to make it look convincing, so you might get hurt a little bit.
I think I could take that. A little bit.
Lovely.
Agnes, give me your wits and awareness.
Okay. Okay.
But you do see that I'm quite excited by the possibility of this happening.
Ooh, okay. 1, 2. I crit. It's a dirty crit. So that's what, 4, right? Wait.
Yes,
yeah,
4.
4, 5 successes.
You see yourself out of the corner of your eye.
The fuck?
It almost looks like you were still in the tank, but now that you're looking directly at the tank, it's not you. You're not there. It's empty. But you could swear. And you run over to it, and you all see Agnes clearly kind of flipping out for a minute because it is a messy crit. So, Agnes, you do run over to it and start kind of like ripping at it like a crazy person for a second.
All right. All right. I'm going to try and collect myself and be like, I must have feel like I've just hit the cactus juice. I don't know what came over me. I swear I could have just. Is there like some weird mirrors or shit in here? Because I swear I saw myself.
I don't believe there are, but and I don't know what cactus juice does to you.
It's only a very specific kind of cactus. You don't want to know. It's not very good. But when you're desperate and need some fluids, it gets the job done. Besides the point, I'm just gonna keep going to the tank, and I'll be like, "Are you sure? Like that this broken glass here, it's not like some kind of reflective surface either, right?"
I don't believe so. You're
Well,
right.
Agnes, maybe I can help you out. Can I cast Sense the Unseen to see if I can sense anything weird?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, that's with some aspects. So that's what it was. It's a lot of clams. That is 1, 2, 4 successes.
There's definitely a glow coming from these tubes. It's magic. You've seen things like wards before, and you see how they glow, and you as a Tremere know what it looks like to look at something supernatural that you can't quite put your finger on what it is, but that's definitely something.
Well, folks, we've got magic in this room, all over the containers that we were in before. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not natural or science.
All right, I hate this magic shit. I saw something, freaked me out. I'm sorry if I'm overreacting, but I don't, I still can't get used to that kind of stuff.
Is any of this familiar to me at all?
Doctor, you know what it is, but you also know that divulging it would be detrimental to everyone.
Okay.
Why don't we just focus on the task at hand here? If we're going through with this hostage situation, I would like to see if we can find out what's going on in the hallway outside of the room. If how many guards there are, what's going on out there, maybe check in with the sister.
You see that as you say that, Jack's sister Mary Louise does appear almost out of thin air. It seems to almost turn her back out from behind you and kind of step out from behind you. She goes, "Nothing any more unusual than it usually is. Armed to the teeth, ready to kill all of us."
About how many of them would you say?
30 in this hallway alone.
Oh, you might be outnumbered in this situation.
You see Agnes counting on her fingers because she's not that great with math, but she's trying to figure out.
Sister Mary Louise.
Yes.
I want to, you know that word that you use when you have done something that offends someone and you need to
Apologize.
Oh, I don't like that.
Make amends?
So I like that better. Thank you, baby. So what I was wondering, I thought that you all paid your bills in this facility and that they would hear everything that we were saying. So I assumed that I could be especially mean to you and maybe they would think that you were not a double agent of any type. And I may have been a little bit harsher than I intended to be, given that you are working with us, kind of you and all. But I just need to clarify. I thought that your bills were paid and they could hear every word, so I apologize for that.
She smiles, and you notice that as she smiles, Delilah, because this is the first time you've actually seen her kind of like really crack a little laugh. She has the most messed up teeth. She has almost a full mouth of fangs, and it kind of looks like a couple of them are slowly rotting from the top as she laughs. And she goes, "You were quite smart to do what you did. And no amends are necessary."
Sister, what are you willing to do to help us get out of here?
She looks at you, Jax, for a moment and goes, anything I can, but this goes very deep, and this has been going on for quite some time. Decades, believe it or not. So it's not something that we can do overnight, and it's not something that you can just set off a bomb and end it in one night. It needs to be dismantled through process, through teamwork, through strategy. I apologize to all of you that for years I have been a part of this, even longer than Dr. Nadia here, who was fairly new to us in recent years. And, well, sorry, dear, that we've destroyed your poor life. But in reality, I see now, and I feel such a strong pull and kinship to others like myself, especially. No offense to the rest of you, but there's a few other Nosferatu, I believe we're called, that are here, that I've made dear friends with. And throughout time, they've shown me that perhaps it is okay to choose your family.
Sister, I will say that you did apologize for the condition that they had given me, but I don't see it as an affliction. This is a gift. And this is a power that we should embrace and we should take back. And this is something that I will not allow them to destroy now that now that I can feel it, now that I've experienced how different I've become. I don't want a cure to this. And I feel that is such an insult in and of itself.
She walks over to you and takes your hands as you're saying this. And she kind of brings them close up to her chest too, and kind of has you in that friendship grip in her hands. And she goes, yes, my child, but understand, you have to make them believe. You have to get on their good side and you have to make them believe. The closer you can get to them, you'll be our only in.
I swear to you that I will do whatever it takes to see that we are all out safely. I promise you.
Good. She turns and looks at the rest of you and goes, all right. Here's the thing. You all have managed to come right in the middle of the, oh, pardon my language, the clusterfuck. This has
Sister.
been, I know, there's no other word to describe it, Doctor. This has been a long time coming, but there are others here. There are others here in those hallways and in this facility that can help, working on plans. And do not forget that the rest of your resistance is here now as well. They may try to split you all up, but there's too many now. No matter where we are, we're together. And hell hath no fury like the angered and people who have suffered injustice. We can rise up together against them and show them who's boss.
You said that this whole establishment we can't just take down. It takes too much, or it's been going on for years, yada, yada, yada. But have you ever heard that phrase, you cut the head off a snake and the body's going to die? Where the hell is the head, and how do we cut that shit off?
It would appear we have a Hydra situation.
Oh,
Agnes.
crap.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We have tried many times. Get rid of one. 2 more take their place. That group of ghouls that Sister Mary Esther keeps, the program she has going. I worry there because a couple of soldiers with gas masks and things like that aren't too much of a worry, but if they're making super soldiers, that could be quite possibly as strong as some of the newer kindred. That could become troublesome very fast. So we do have our fair share of hurdles coming up against us, but I think we'll manage.
Well, in the history books, what usually happens with a revolution is that it starts with one big, fun, super fun war, and I feel like this battle that's going to happen is going to happen here today. From what I'm hearing, there's a lot of people out there with guns, but there's also a bunch of vampires here who also have supernatural powers, if you guys haven't forgotten. So I say we round up the army and we get this revolution going, starting today.
It will take a lot of organization.
And beware the blue velvet.
That's true. They have taken our powers with the blue velvet before. Maybe we can find some vampires around that are not super underpowered right now that can help us out.
Kindred.
Right.
Can we get our friends out of the cages?
Well, there are options. Yes, we can get them out. But in doing so, we will jeopardize our positions. You will jeopardize your positions. And, well, I don't know what's working and what's not. And they have a tendency to do that girlfriend thing where they only ask questions they already know the answers to. So just assume if they ask you something, they already know, which means if we're tracked to ask you how you got out, they already know.
George and Beatrice.
She does smile again and nod. And you notice, Agnes, that as she smiles, this time a little bug kind of runs across the grill of her teeth and up into her ear.
How quaint.
She goes, I quite like it. We feel it's best to maybe stay for a while. It might be best to attack them from the inside out.
That is what I had gathered.
They will not expect it. Go ahead, Doctor. Please, no, do. You were the one that had the notes on a lot of this. But yes, go ahead.
Forgive me, sister. I just wanted to say that if we could somehow figure out a system of communication with the rest of the kindred that are here, and if we could somehow secretly restore the abilities that have been taken away from most, perhaps then we would be able to organize a coup, a revolt. But it will take some time and it will take a lot of planning. But I do believe you're up for the challenge, and if there's anyone that has come through this facility that gives me any sort of hope, it is you. Even you, Delilah. Never underestimate the power of charm.
Oh, don't
I
you
am
estimate
extremely charming.
Don't underestimate her fighting skills too. She just doesn't get as dirty as the rest of us, but when it's necessary, she will.
Correct.
I just do most of it for her, so she doesn't, break a nail or anything.
Well, I fully trust in all of your abilities in every circumstance.
And as Agnes just said, I have one great skill, and that's outsourcing my responsibilities. So what about these people in the cages, these creatures, as you like to call them?
We'll have to get them out. Eventually.
Do they have some bad, excuse me for the pun, some bad blood with the two of you? Is that why you're hesitant?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, we've really tried our best to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible when we can, without getting caught. But it's difficult. Up until about right now, we didn't know that this was a dead spot. I'm a bit happy to find that out. They don't always spread all their information around between all of their agents. They keep things compartmentalized, kind of the way the CIA does. The less people that know about each project, the better. But we've been hoping to get Dr. Malik here a bit higher in the chain of command, get her eyes in to access some of the more sensitive material. The thing is, her being one of us, they really don't want to trust her. But she's our only hope. Getting one of us up there is our only hope.
It's going to require me behaving in such a way and in saying certain things that will be upsetting to you. I hope that you keep that in mind as we move forward and do not be too offended by it.
I do hope that when all of this is said and done, we can all forgive each other for anything that may need to happen. In prying eyes, it really is, it's going to take a lot. But again, we're so close now. And, well, hopefully this will be the final straw, the final strike, and Denver will fall.
Well, it takes a lot to offend me, so let's go. I'm ready to skedaddle and, I don't know, chew on this straw or whatever we're doing.
What would you like to do first? I can walk you out and try to integrate you into the cells, into the facility, if you would like to meet the others, if you would like to try and find your others, or you can try to make a run for it again, the same way you did last time, and try to gather more. But again, I feel like fighting it from the inside is the best plan. But the choice is yours.
Look, how many more people do I have to watch get electrocuted? If we do that, if we just sit around and wait for Dr. Know-It-All to get to the top so everybody's saved? How many more people have to be tortured? How long do these kindred have to sit in cages? How long do you want us to do that? You want us to sit around here for a year, 2 years, 3 years? Like, no. No.
Jax, if it was just a matter of the four of you leaving, that would be one thing. But if we're talking about destroying this establishment, which it's the only way, because if you do escape, look what happened to you. You returned immediately. If you are to make an actual escape, we'll have to destroy this entire establishment, which will take time. I know it is frustrating. I know
I don't have time. I'm not going to sit around here and watch Kindred get electrocuted and watch people rot away in cages. I'm not going to do that. That's absurd that you would ask me to do that, to take time to do that. Look, I've done bad things. And I've even enjoyed some of the bad things that I've done. I'm going to be honest about that. I've done very bad things. But one thing I am not going to do is sit here in a cage with a bunch of other beings in cages and watch people suffer, all based on a promise by someone who was a complete stranger.
Well, what would you do now? Given the choice, go ahead. Tell us. How will you take down everyone and escape?
I don't know. I thought maybe I'd do something like this, and then I activate Unseen Passage.
And you do see Jax kind of twists off behind something real quick and disappears as she kind of spins behind a pole. It's just gone. And Jax, you hear Charlie whisper in your ear and go, "Oh, love, I know it's frustrating. We'll think of something. Their plan's shite anyways. We've done this for a lot longer and been on our own for longer. I think if we put our heads together, we might be able to come up with something. Just a bit. We can blow the whole place up. Oh, no, we can't do that. There's too many innocent people inside, but we'll think of something."
We'll think of something. I just, to be honest, Charlie, I just need to cool down. And I come out of Unseen Passage.
And you do see that a few moments later, Jax does reappear and kind of spins out. And Sister Mary Louise does look at you, Jax, and goes, "I know it's frustrating. But no, really, if any of you do have a better suggestion, believe me when I tell you that now would be the time."
Let's free them all. Let's let them all out. Let's figure that out. Let's let every single person out.
I agree.
Same. Is there some kind of like master control or master key that, I've been arrested by the sheriff quite a few times. Of course, this was back in the day when things couldn't get locked with a button. But once you get that key, you let everybody out. That's like the golden rule first and foremost.
Wouldn't you want to at least have everyone prepared for such a thing? At least have them know. At least form a plan.
Who are we preparing, darling?
Well,
That
Everyone else.
was the plan.
the
Yes,
doctor
but-
here does
What
Okay.
kind of time do you all think that we have that we can just sit here? What kind of time do we have?
I'm not suggesting that. All I'm saying is that you organize everyone so that when they do see bars come up or doors open, that they do know that it is their time to attack, that they are prepared to fight guards.
The doctor does
So
make
what do we do if they're here?
I'm not sure if you guys know where we are. Has that been explained to you yet at all by anyone of the resistance, what we're under? This whole facility is underground. It's not going to be easy even once we let everyone out of the cages to just get them out the front door. They have systems in place to deal with crowd control. Preparation is definitely key, but you are under the Denver International Airport. Most of those conspiracy theories that you hear people talk about are true. The facility is completely underground. There are key access points that we know of and have found when you got out last time, and she does kind of look around for a second, like she's looking for the cameras, and then you see her realize that, oh yeah, they're not working in here. And she kind of takes a deep breath again and goes, that office that you walked through in the boiler room, that was mine. There is another tunnel. It links to a train. There's a railway there. And it is the underground access by which they get most large groups of kindred. And you came in this time on your own, but through my office, there is a back way that leads directly into that tunnel. Perhaps we could figure out a way to get everyone rallied for an attack and then out through the trains. But it will take time to prepare.
I have a question. If there's some kind of diversion or emergency with the facilities, do they have an evacuation plan, especially for their little experiments that they have locked up in those cages? What I'm saying is if there was some kind of gas leak or fire or natural disaster. All I'm saying is, I hate fire just as much as the next person. But if we could make it seem like the place was on fire without actually starting one, do they have an evacuation plan, or would they just let all of us burn?
Yes, they have an evacuation plan for themselves.
For themselves, but not for our kind.
No. And I fear that Dr. Nadia and I would indeed be lumped in with you were that case. So there's not much we could do to stop it either.
Well, wouldn't that be great, though, if everyone evacuated and we could just be left behind?
A false evacuation plan.
Exactly.
A false emergency.
It's how I robbed a bank back in 1914.
It would have to be big enough to make them panic in such a way that they wouldn't even think twice about looking at saving everyone else. But what would that situation be, do you think?
Nothing like that has ever come up before. We've never had a good look at what their strategy would be or what their security protocol would be, as far as if they're instructed to stand around and watch the facility. I mean, they will indeed leave, but if they place armed guards at the entries to make sure that no one else leaves is something we've never been able to really figure out, as it's never happened before. But it's
what we need
it's worth a shot.
What we need is something so big and not only evacuates this underground facility, but the Denver airport. So that way it's definitely believed. If a bunch of mortals above us are freaking out, running out as well, and there's just chaos everywhere, I don't know, like some kind of bomb threat or, I don't know. I saw this on the news once. It was really exciting. But something that'll just get the whole area, like, I don't know, like a 10-mile radius of, I don't know how the hell to do anything like that. I've never made a bomb that big, but it's an idea. Better than sitting around for 2 years waiting for one of us to not die of torture.
I've heard prayed tell of something, something that the wolves can do. I believe it was called delirium. Perhaps if we can infiltrate someone, Doctor, over into their wing, once we snap out of it, we might be able to get the wolves to help rise against as well. And maybe they can use that to make them think that there's an emergency. Or maybe they'll shoot them with silver on the spot. I'm not sure. But these are all theoretical, of course, but you see how this can go on for decades. And
Right.
they've had a lot more planning than we have, and a lot more time, and a lot more money. But I do like your plan. Distraction, get everyone out. We just have to figure out what that is.
There must be some kind of chemicals that they have in this facility, or something where if it were to leak, they would want people to leave immediately. I mean, with all the tests they've been running on our kind and other kinds, there must be something like that.
They want you to think it takes planning. They want you to think it takes all of this time when it really just takes action. If we don't act, and I understand we're still trying to figure out a plan, but if you're talking decades and all kind of cockamamie hootshot John nonsense, that's not going to get us anywhere, baby. I say we get the wolves. We go now.
Right.
I second.
What are you going to do here? Just stay locked away and hope for the best? There is no best, baby. Their best is for you to keep thinking that there is no better. And we got to go. I got a show in like, I don't even remember what day it is, but the sooner we're out of here, the better.
All right. Would you like to be split up? Would you like to go together to find your others? How would you like to go about this? This go get the wolves and do this because, well, quite honestly, Jax, if I may suggest, your friend might actually have the best pull with the wolves. They're not exactly too fond of us.
Hold on one second. And I kind of turn to the side and I go, Charlie, is that true?
Because I'm not exactly a werewolf expert, love, but I do know. I've heard legend, and I've heard people talking, and yeah, that whole thing she was talking about earlier about being unnatural and not part of that, and they're kind of, like, oh, Gaia and the earth, and we were all natural, and we're hippies and we wear hemp, and like we're not like that, and they don't like that. So yeah, usually when I think when one of them sees us, they like to eat us. Well, you, not me. I'm your friend, but with that, and you see him make the little fangs with his fingers.
I see, but you might be able to talk some sense into them.
Yes, well, yeah, love. I'm natural, and you see him fling his hair back.
I turn around and I said, okay, I don't think you know Charlie very well. Like, he's not like me. He's not as eloquent as I am or charming. But I believe if I go with him and I am, together, we might be able to figure out how to, how to persuade the lupines.
You do see that Sister Mary Louise's face kind of shrinks for a minute, and she goes, I can't in good conscience let a kindred into the lupine wing.
But they won't see me.
They will smell you.
Excuse you? What?
Oh, I know, I'm not like
Come
that.
on.
Yeah, I'll stop talking. Sorry, Doctor.
I don't think that she meant that as an offense. I just think that they have, heightened sense of smell, like a lupine would, you see.
Oh, kind of like old Agnes over here, huh?
Yeah, but I'm more of a cat person.
All right, well then I will go with my friend and stand outside the door while he persuades the he can't do it alone, and I'm not letting him leave my side ever again.
That is valid, and I understand your concern. It will be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
Yeah, because the past couple weeks have been, smooth sailing. No danger. I'm not used to it at all by now.
Oh, but there is always a chance for escape until a werewolf is coming after you. Then that chance is spent. They're much stronger, much faster than most of any of us could dream to be. They have special bars in that wing. It's slightly more frightening because they're not always in that form, of course, but even in human form, the size of the chains that they keep them in, even in their cells. Pure silver and so large, Agnes, I really doubt even you could break them. They're meant to hold them.
Challenge accepted. Just kidding. I don't give a shit about their bars. But, so, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm sorry.
Does Abbas have a spell or something?
I've been checking. Well, I can do something that can help us at least find our comrades. I don't know about this whole wolf situation. I'm not cool with going to do that. But if we can just find our comrades and increase our numbers, then I think we can kind of get this revolution going.
In the meantime, I could find the sort of a control center for all of the gates and bars for all of the holding cells, and also perhaps find blueprints for all of the exits.
Give me what do I want to make this roll? You can give me a wits and awareness to see if see how much of that you are able to find.
Okay.
And what would the rest of you like to do in preparation to head out and find your comrades? And what is your plan?
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. It's hard to take because there's a delay. So I'm like, who's talking?
I'm gonna roll Illuminate the Trail of Prey with the white ribbon that I got from the doctor, and I'll roll that to see if I can find my sire.
Just to be clear, to remind you, Illuminate the Trail of Prey will only show where they have been in the past. So you would only see where Theodora has walked. Basically, if she's like walked around in the room near you, it doesn't go in a straight line from you to wherever she is.
Okay.
Basically, her trail's illuminated somewhere for you, but you still have to go on the grand hunt to find her little footprint.
Okay, well, I think that's better than nothing, so I'll just do that.
And how many successes for you, Doctor?
4.
4. Yeah, you know that there's you're probably going to have to go into one of the main offices and probably have to get some of the other employees to kind of dip out and leave, maybe send them somewhere else. But you think you might be able to get in and hit the unlock code on a couple of wings of cells and maybe set some people free and running.
And anything as far as blueprints, exit strategies? Maps?
The exit strategies that you know of, for the most part, were pretty much what Sister Mary Louise had said. You know that there's not that many exits out of this place. It is an underground facility, and it's pretty much a military base. It is very heavily guarded, which you also know with that many kindred running free, even under the blue velvet or not, even weak, a lot of these guards here are mortals. The more so true faith types that are the really worrisome ones tend to kind of stick together like the bougie princesses that they are and kind of hide together somewhere else. But the main crew of people in the hallways, mortal. So even a low-powered vampire could probably do some decent damage to them, especially if overrun by that many.
But it would, as far as verbal instructions on how to exit, would it be something that would be easy to explain?
Yes, it would be down through the tunnels and into the trains, like Mary Louise had explained, down through her office, or as you had all arrived on the train, through that main entrance of that train tunnel.
Okay.
But logic would deduce that it was probably safer to go through the boiler room as before. It was off on the side, probably less cameras, probably less surveillance.
Okay. Anyone else have any ideas?
I was just going to offer up my services to whoever needed me, whatever team's going to free some people, or if Miss Tuesday wants me to accompany her, because if there was one language I do speak and respect, it is animal. So wherever y'all want me, just tell me where to go. I don't really... besides coming up with the idea, I'm not much of a planner, if that makes sense. But now I want ice cream. I hear a truck.
And Charlie's back there knocking around things behind Delilah. That's the other thing that's happening. All kinds of shenanigans.
Actually, you asked what I was going to do besides listen to that faint, distant sound of an ice cream truck. And I had something that I remembered that was very important to tell you all. I remembered that I'd hidden my lip gloss inside my hair.
Well, at least you're going to look nice escaping.
If there's a chance that I may die, I'm doing so with style.
As you say that, you do notice that Sister Mary Louise pulls one of those all-natural chapsticks from her habit and goes, I do the same thing, and kind of takes it off and puts it on, puts the lid back up and tucks it up in there. And she goes, all right, who's going with you?
I'll lead team tracking, I guess.
All right, you come with me. And those of you who are going to the wolves, come with me as well. And we'll bring you there last and get a word in with them. Perhaps we won't need it by then. Doctor.
Yes.
You make your way into the office and see if you can...
I'll see what I can find. In the meantime, best of luck to you, ladies. I have my full faith in you.
Okay, well then let's all leave together then. I mean, safety in numbers.
Yes. All right. Here we go. And she does kind of straighten up and get that more official, authoritative look. She looks like one of those very stern Catholic school nuns. And she opens the door with that loud shunk. And you hear her go, well, if you're not going to speak this time, then I'm afraid you're going to have a nice long stay with the rest of general population. We thought that we could give you some kind of preferential treatment, but fine. Follow me. And she does walk you through the halls. And you do see, again, some more of the circus folk that have come and gone and been through there. You do see, you think, some people that you recognize from the Stanley, even, that when you were there, you were pretty sure that, like, I didn't, that, but they didn't have that kindredy smell. But they do seem to be in there. And finally, you start to catch a little trail, Ibis, a little glow that takes a right turn down one of the wings, sharp right turn.
I tried to indicate to the sister that I want to go to the right, so I kind of just start to drift to the right a little in the hallway and like move my eyes like this.
It seems that the cells here are a bit filled up. I'll have to take you over to the other wing. Follow me, no funny business. And she does kind of like keep looking back at you for directions, and you start to realize, Ibis, obviously she can't see this glow. Well, like only you can. So she is kind of like looking back and forth at you, kind of awaiting for further instructions of where to stop and start. And it does seem like it's going in a straight line. She's still walking the right direction, even though she seems fairly unsure of it. And it does go all the way down to the edge of the hall, and it makes another left.
It just starts to shuffle to the left a little. Go.
She goes, this way. And she does turn and guide you down there. And you see that it's leading into a wall.
Hey, taking us through this cool wall here, sister?
And she goes, no, sometimes I get a little confused. You know, the damp air down here can be a problem. And she kind of, under her breath, goes, did we lose it? Is it gone?
No, I go through this wall. I want to try to cast clairvoyance to see if I can get a handle on this area. It is intelligence and aspects. Okay. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
And clairvoyance again gives you like a kind of visual layout of things, correct?
Yeah, for a very large area, I can get, let's see, anything, receive information about anything happening in the area, anything hidden. Yeah, I can ask questions basically. So can I figure out why, if this wall is fake, does it move? Is there a way around this wall? Why the steps go that way?
Yeah, this definitely seems like a bit of a false wall. It does look like it's going right through it, but the sister seems to not even know about it.
And I kind of whisper, that wall is false, but I don't know how to open it. I kind of just start to shuffle around near the door and like kind of like just like feeling it and kicking it, like see if anyone notices.
It doesn't move and it doesn't budge as you kind of bump into it and you look like you're leaning against it, and you see that as you kind of go to shuffle around it, you make a little bit more noise than you should, and some of the other guards kind of start looking over, and you see her go, "That's enough messing around." And she kind of grabs you by the wrist and pulls you straight, like almost looking like she hurts you, but she really doesn't. She doesn't really close her hand around your wrist, but she does kind of tug you back into line before any of them take up arms at you. And she goes, I'll leave you here. She goes, this will be your new cell. She goes, you'll have some time to think. And she does open the gate with a small key that she has. Looks to be like a skeleton key of some sort. It's probably a universal key. This is the first time you guys have seen anybody open up one of the cells, but it very much does look almost like a handcuff key, like it's something that could very easily all be exactly the same. And she does open it up and open up the gate and flag you guys inside.
Okay. I step inside. I'm confident that I can get out of this cage later.
When you step inside, Ibis, the trail picks back up. And it almost looks like Theodora must have been walking in circles. At one point, you kind of follow it up, and it looks like she was walking on the ceiling at some point, too.
Cool. Can I sense her? Can I sense my siren anyway? Because I know I can't communicate with her because I lost all my items. But is there any, would I just know?
What items would it be that you needed to communicate with her?
The pin she gave me earlier. The little brooch thing.
That is correct. I would say that you were probably able to hide that somewhere on your person. Just like Delilah had hid her lip gloss in her hair. There was probably a couple of small things here or there that you all might have been able to kind of stash away somewhere, hidden satchel.
Totally should have asked that a long time ago. So anyway, I just opened up my minds because it's an open communication thing. Let's go. Hey, Theodora, you around here? I see your footprints, and we're in that cell that you were in before, and we've got somewhat of a plan. What are you doing?
Ibis?
Yep,
Ibis, is that you?
Oh my God, we're again, I'm the only people that can talk like this. I don't... Okay, it's fine. I'm not going to yell at you about not having a phone, because I don't have a phone either right now, but of course it's me. Who else did you give pins to?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think I'm in the 5th dimension.
Oh, cool. Can we all go hang out there? Where's that?
I don't know. I was walking, and I saw somebody that looked like me.
Oh, like a cool ghost? I just learned about those.
Wait, do we all hear this, or is it just Ibis that hears that?
I think it's telepathic.
Yeah, it's telepathic. So Ibis, you would hear Ibis talking back and forth. At least, I don't know. Are you saying it out loud at the same time you're thinking it, Ibis?
Yeah, probably. I don't think I had that kind of like space of mind to be stealthy. Yeah, I'm just yelling out loud to nobody.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, let me get this straight. You saw something that looked like you. Maybe it was a ghost, and now you're in space?
Wait. Go back. You said that. First of all, why are you talking to yourself? But did you just see something? That I saw something. I thought I saw myself too, and I thought I was going crazy.
Is that Agnes?
That's Agnes. And Agnes, I'm talking to Theodora, and she saw herself ghost, and I did not see myself ghost, but I'm hearing that you saw yourself ghost. This is very confusing.
Well, I didn't see myself as a ghost. I just saw myself.
Well, I mean, I just think all things are ghosts if you don't know what they are. It's my assumption. But okay. So, all right. Anyway, so if you follow the U, then you get to the astral plane? Is that what's going on, Theodora?
I do believe that what you have done is wandered into a trap.
Oh, cool. What do you mean?
I followed a thing that looked like me. I did the Trail of the Prey thing, and I was like, this is weird. I've never done this to follow myself before. And then I walked through that wall. It was a bit of a challenge. Luckily, I could teleport. It took some time. I was in my cell, and then it took me a little bit of time to get that prepped. And then when I finally cast it, now I don't know where I am, but I'm not there, but I am there. I don't know what to tell you.
What I'm hearing is that you're fine, and we should work on that problem later. I don't know. Hey, everyone in the cell, if you see your ghost, don't follow it. You'll get trapped in the fourth dimension. That's the news I'm getting from the other side. Anyone else seen a ghost of themselves?
I'm just imagining what another me would be like, and that's fantastic.
Yes, another you would probably be very beautiful. I did happen to see myself, too.
When?
Oh, when we were back in that other room before we went to explain our escape. For a moment, I thought I did see myself, but I thought, that I didn't think much of it.
You should have said something. When I saw myself, I thought I was going nuts or like hallucinated or some shit. At least I know someone else was seeing some crazy stuff.
I see Charlie all the time, so.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You're seeing things left and right. All right. All I know is I saw myself as clear as day, and it was definitely me. Not sure why I saw it. Melee, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw myself in the tube, and the tube was intact.
The tube was still broken, but it was almost like an echo.
Yeah.
You saw almost like an outer body experience. Like you saw probably what you looked like the first day.
Got it. Yeah, I saw myself in that tube thing, but I don't know. This is weird. It's like a memory, but it was livid. Like it was clear as day.
Can I roll for premonition?
You may indeed, Jax. And at this moment, as Jax goes to tap into the unknown, you do see the doors of these cells start to swing open, wing by wing. And as each hallway unlocks at a time in a row, and the alarm does start to go off, you can assume that the doctor has done exactly what she has said and move everybody out of that room and hit the codes to unlock all the doors.
And I'm surging, and I did a rouse check, and I got hungrier, so I'm at 2 hunger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
4?
4.
Almost like you are getting hit in the face with a truck. You see Charlie and Theodora running straight at you, yelling, "Wake up! Wake up! Wake up, Jax! Wake up! Wake up, Ebis! Wake up! Wake up!" And you are back.
Okay, so now is the time. The time is now. Let's go.
As you begin to run, and all of you begin to take off for what you think is the door, the sound starts to fade into silence. It starts to get darker, and the world around you seems to crumble. That brief moment of hope, of escape, is as gone as fast as it hit your tongue. A bright flash of light hits you again. This again. As you open your eyes, and it's darkness. That metal container. You put your hands out. It's the glass jars. You have never left the first tube.
Ah!
And that is a good place to end the first
Jesus.
season of Denver by Night.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
I'm more
Thank
mad than
you.
a cat in a room full of rockers. Damn it.
I mean, I set out to do like weird kind of like Black Mirror, World of Darkness horror. I'm like, I'm gonna do psychological thriller with this. Hopefully, I was able to deliver that for all of you.
You
Seriously,
did though.
With the ghost, I was like, oh, we're in a dream, Like I know we're in a dream. I can't say it.
Yeah, I was suspecting it too, but like I was like, no, maybe because then when you said it was like an echo, I was like, maybe we are just like there's something wrong that we're seeing echoes of ourselves. I don't know.
I told you this was planning.
I knew it was a trap, though. I knew it was a trap.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll go around one last time to have everyone introduce themselves and talk about what it is that they've got coming up and what else we can catch you guys on. Tell us where to find you all. We will go in the same order that I went in last time, which is the order that I see all of you on my screen. And we will start with you, Christina.
Christina Ariel, Toreador, Aquarius, fashion maven, bomb lipstick wearer, available on the internet at Christina Ariel, KrystinArielle. Spell it right. And then when you start commenting, keep spelling it right because there's no I at the front. You know it. You see it above you. You see it in your emails. Get that shit together. Get your lives right. I'll be on shows on the internet, but if you follow me on the internet, then you'll know when these shows are coming on, and then you can watch them, and that'll be fun and bomb. Black Lives Matter. Don't be a dick.
Yes, indeed. There we go. Okay, I am unmuted. Yes. Next, we have. Actually, I'm gonna go like this time. So, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Bradley. I'm a little messed up from that ending. You can find me ever on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny. I've had that username since I was like 18 and I just never changed it. So that's what I'm doing now. I've got a lot of weird video stuff happening. It's all over on my YouTube. I make playlists, even if they're being hosted on other channels. I've got a bi-weekly show about manga, which is pretty cool with Viz. I'm in a movie, I'm in a remake of the movie Taken. Where everyone makes 1 minute of the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, and then it's just put together into one giant, like, full film. It's very good. I'm in it. My dog's in it. And a lot of really bad editing is in it. So you can check that out also on YouTube. And yeah, that's me.
Excellent. Bonnie.
That's me. Hello, everyone. My name is Bonnie Gordon. You can find me all over the interweb at Bonnie Bell G. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also, check out my nerdy parody band, the Library Bards. Hey! Hey, jazz hands. You can find me here on Q Times on Mondays, every Monday, on the Star Trek RPG show Clear Skies. The Klingon cast, the Klingon show airs this upcoming Monday, so Clear Skies will not be going on, but everyone tune in to see the new Klingon show. It's going to be amazing. What else? Oh my goodness, my brain. I'm doing music, solo music. Look at my videos. Go stalk me, please. And I have stuff coming up that I can't talk about because that's the way internet and entertainment works. Goodbye. Oh, and Melee, that was messed up. Why do you do this to my brain?
I regret nothing. I came here to chew bubblegum and tell horrible tales, and I am all out of bubblegum. Next, Shane.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shane Easton. You can follow me on Twitter at a slight sprite. That's me. And you can watch I just created a video called Introduction to Vampire the Masquerade. I wrote and directed it. It's available on the World of Darkness YouTube channel if you want to learn more about the universe that we are in, or if you want to know where to start your journey with Vampire. Also, I do other stuff. Sorry, that ending really did mess me up, May. I'm just thinking about that now. So there's experimental one-on-one immersive show that I'm running called Out There, and I'm about to actually release some dates for it for July. If any of you want to check it out, it's free, and and it's my birthday month, and also Black Lives Matter, and take care of each other, and thank you for watching. And I just love playing with these people.
And last but not least, Nora.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at NoraLogical, Noura Logical. And why is that a question mark? I don't know. But a couple of announcements. So I just wrapped the season finale with the Tides of Wildmount that shows on D&D and Realm Smiths TV's Twitch channels. We are going to pick up our season premiere of season 2 of Into the Mist, the Curse of Strahd campaign on Realm Smith and D&D. We're going to be doing it at Founders and Legends on July 18th. I believe that's the Saturday, with some special guests. And so we're going to be picking up where that campaign left off from, where they did the season finale during GaryCon, where we had Matthew Lillard and we had Matt Mercer as Strahd himself. So it's going to be very exciting to have this season premiere for Founders and Legends. And then I'm also on a Call of Cthulhu ttrpg stream called Carnaby Street Case Files. It's based in London in the 1920s. It's super fun. We're just silly. We're having our second episode on July 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/The Initiative Order. They also have a YouTube channel. It will be on there. For our second episode, we will have our special guests, Cynthia Marie and Satine Phoenix. We're very excited to have them. So follow me on the things, and I will have updates for everything. And thank you so much to the cast and to May for having me on your show. You are all a fucking delight, and I love all of you. So thank you for having me. And that's it.
And I am Melee Damage. I would like to thank Q Times for hosting us and allowing us to do this and have some fun, and allowing me to tell my first full-length vampire story here, which I just watched horrible Orwellian mind psychological thriller things, and no one should ever set me loose in the world of darkness, otherwise this happens. So I'm glad that I could prove to all of you that I just can't be trusted to do things. Thank you for allowing me to do that. On Thursdays you can catch me on a little show called D&D A Darkened Wish, hosted by B. Dave Walters, DM'd by B. Dave Walters, based off of his story that he and Tess Fowler do a comic book for. That is absolutely wonderful and so much fun. I do a couple of other things, couple of other shows that you Long Beach by Night, things like that. They are on break right now, but hopefully we'll be back soon. And I also do have a Patreon. So I run games on there. So if you have watched all of Denver and you've been like, wow, she's just absolutely terrible, and why would we do that? You can totally give me your money to run games for you and be terrible to you and your friends. That's a thing that I do, that we can do together. So if you feel that that's a thing you want, Patreon, Melee Damage. That is me. I am Melee Damage on all the socials. And thank you guys all for tuning in to support this show and support all of these wonderful players and wonderful artists. And do please check out everything they do and support it, because I love all of the stuff that they do. I am huge fans of all of them. And I was genuinely moved to have this absolutely wonderful cast sign up for this and come with me to do this for my first story that I get to tell. So I'm incredibly lucky for that. Thank all of you so very, very much. And that is it. Thank you. Thank you all for Denver.